Hi, and welcome to the Balanced Body Podcast series. I'm Cari Riis Stemmler from Paragon Pilates and Physical Therapy in Minneapolis, and I'm here today with Kai, and we're talking about working specifically with dancers. Today we're going to be working on the trapeze table and working some side-lying leg work. So most important things when working specifically with a dancer is in a side-lying position, you want to make sure that that bottom oblique is really connected and lifting the waistline so that it's supporting the pelvis from the top, and then you have a lift from the pelvic floor and really working the transverse so the pelvis is connected and working from the bottom. A lot of times when dancers are going for big ranges of motion, they allow their pelvis to rock around and be very unstable. So here we can sort of sacrifice the range of motion for the stability of the pelvis. So I'm going to have Kai come down onto her side. And we're going to be working with the yellow leg springs today. You can certainly use the purple for more challenge. But I'm going to have her hook the arch of the foot into the strap. And then before she moves and before she goes anywhere, I really want to see a long spine and the top ilium kind of reaching away from her shoulder. So what that creates is a little space in the bottom waistline. And even if you don't see visible space, you want to feel a lift and a connection through the bottom oblique musculature. And then I can see her posture very well just looking straight down. So I'm going to watch for rib popping. I want to see again that fullness in the low back so there's no compression in her lumbar spine. And then the top hip again is reaching away almost like the top leg gets longer than the bottom leg. So I'm going to have her work in a turned out position. When the leg turns out, the femur can glide a little bit easier in the hip socket. So as she lifts her leg, I want to see the head of the femur gliding down and back. And then she's drawing that leg down. She's still working the length in both directions. And I'm just going to monitor her pelvis and the work of that bottom oblique. So now she's working a little bit more deeply. I'm also watching for the pelvis rocking forward and back. So we're keeping the ASIS bones lined up one on top of the other and not allowing the pelvis to rock backwards. One more time. And draw down and hold. And now Kai, go ahead and take it forward as in a Batma front. And then from her hamstring, she's going to work back and really open the front of the hip and stretch the hip flexor actually. And then going forward, she's staying in a neutral pelvis. And as she goes back, she's working the hamstring and not allowing the abdominals to let go. One more time. Going front. And now, Kai, bring your top hip forward a little and work the lift in your belly as you go to your arabesque. So that's a very difficult thing for people to do. One more time, going forward. You want to not see the spine change as she goes back. So she's keeping that same length in her spine. And go ahead and rest for a second. So now we're going to go into some leg circles, and a lot of times with dancers, we're used to working those really big ranges of motion again. So I actually want to start her in a really small range of motion, and I'm looking at torso stability first. So we always want to look at proximal stability prior to the distal mobility of the limbs, and in this case it's the legs. So I'm watching her torso. We're working on keeping the shoulder blades down, connection in the upper back. Again, that oblique is lifting and we have the pelvis nice and stable. So I'm always monitoring her here. And Kai, go ahead and take small circles. So just about the size of an orange, really, like really small, just right underneath you. And she's working on kind of distracting her leg. So again, that top leg is working longer than the bottom leg. And if I let go, I want to see no motion in the pelvis. So all of this is staying nice and strong and stable. Of course, you'd go in both directions, but now we're going to go into a big grand rond de jambe. So she's going to go forward with the leg, not allowing the hips to move as she goes to the back arabesque and to the center. So she's going forward, up to the ceiling, back, and around. One more time. All the while she's breathing into her back body. She's working her core very strongly, and she's really moving from the hip joint, not wiggling the pelvis all around. All the way up, and pause for a second. So of course we would go in both directions. We would work both legs, and then to get her out of this, I'm just going to have her bend her knee and take the foot out, and then she can just rest. One of the things we'll want to do after an intense series like this is stretch the hip. So Kai, you can go ahead and come onto your back and stretch in a figure 4 stretch. You can do any of the side-lying leg work that you would normally do in a floor bar class or in a ballet class. You can work passe, développés, all of that. Whatever you're doing choreographically with your leg, you're watching the stability of your torso and the stability of your pelvis. So again, things to keep in mind: monitoring the shoulders, the rib cage again, working the core, and a stable pelvis. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.